Hey there, friends and enemies. JoPaWrites here again, and today I want to talk about why I'm going to be leveling up my weapons in Guardian games during Destiny 2 Season of Defiance, and why I prefer this method over something like the Shirochi cheese farm, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to shame anybody for playing the game how they want to. If you want to just level up your weapons super fast and get it over with and never have to think about it again, by all means do that. There are plenty of ways in the game to get that done. For me personally, I don't really care to do that myself. I would rather play the game and do the activities that I want to do. It helps me keep myself from getting burnt out, and I can play the activities where I'm not only going to level up my crafted weapons, I'm also going to make progress on quests or activities or events or whatever the case may be. And so, a couple things to note. One, the reason I'm doing this during Guardian games is you do get a bonus to weapon leveling. Right now, it's 40% in either Supremacy or the casual playlist, and then it's 90% in the competitive playlist. So both of those are very, very nice. I found the competitive playlist is not all that challenging if you don't mind jumping in there. As long as you have something to take on the champions, it's actually a pretty low level strike nightfall type activity, so you don't have to really worry about it. You can run whatever you want and not really stress about that overall. That's just what I found personally, and so that's why I'm running my crafted weapons in that, so I can get the points from my Guardian Games playlist. I can also finish out a bunch of my challenges for Guardian games as well as my Season of Defiance challenges at the same time. And ultimately, I am just getting a lot done in as little time as possible without having to do a cheese that's not really conducive with the way I want to play the game personally. Again, I'm not really here to tell anyone how to play the game or not, but this is just for the people that don't like to do those farms and want another alternative to play the game and level up their weapons as they go. Now, I like this method again as well because I do also like to use the weapons as I'm leveling them up, see how they feel, try out different rolls on them as well, none of which are really going to be the god roll necessarily, but sometimes you'll be surprised and you'll find an underrated role that might work for you, your builds, and your playstyle that other people might not be using right now because they're chasing the meta. Again, if you want to chase the meta, by all means, go ahead and do it. For me, I like to experiment and test a lot of different things, test different roles, test different builds, and my reasoning for that is sometimes I'll find underrated gems that I absolutely love, but then you'll go to like Light GG or Destiny Item Manager and it'll say it's a bad role, but it just works for me and my playstyle. So that's one of the main reasons that I'll do that. There's some perks on different weapons that are going to be better than others just flat out. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But some of the different roles on weapons are going to be better for your playstyle. For example, I was a long time user of Golden Tricorn even before it kind of became more popular because it just fit the way I wanted to play and build my Titans and all that kind of stuff. So because of that, that's why I like to use weapons and not really go through the cheeses. It gets me a better feel for how the weapons are going to perform overall and how much I like using the weapons, because there's also weapons that are in the meta that everybody loves that for whatever reason don't feel great for me. So that's another reason why I'll go into, oftentimes like a heavy weapon, I'll go into Dares of Eternity, but now I'm rocking 3 crafted weapons. I can get them all done at the same time. I level each one of them at least one full level for each run. So say I'm doing 10 runs of the competitive playlist, I'll be almost halfway to leveling fully, like I'll be over halfway leveling up all the weapons, and that'll count for all 3 weapons, not just one at a time. So it's just the way I like to play, and again, while I'm doing that, I'm accomplishing a lot more. Personally, I'm getting event challenges done, I'm getting seasonal challenges done, I'm also getting bounties done and all that kind of good stuff. So it's just the way I like to play, especially when I don't want to only exclusively play this game, because I find a lot of people will go into Shirochi, level up a weapon, and then never use it again. So unless there's a reason that I need a weapon right away, I will almost never do one of the farms. So just a personal preference of mine, but I'd love to hear from you guys, and see if I'm if I'm the outlier here, if I'm the weird one, if anybody else plays this way besides me, because it's just my personal preference. I'll use weapons without perfect rolls in PvP to see how they feel, because some weapons I feel like are absolutely carried in like supremacy by whatever role you have, but other weapons I feel like can still perform regardless of if you have a god roll or not. So I love testing things out. That's one of my favorite things in the game, and I just really enjoy trying new things overall as well. And unfortunately, I know we're in a kind of time period in gaming where everyone wants to get everything done right away. There's a lot of different games out there to play, which I fully understand. But again, this is what helps me prevent myself from getting burnt out. It allows me to continue playing the content that I want to play and that I actually enjoy. I won't play anything that I'm not having fun with. So, regardless of if there's a title available, if there's rewards that I kind of want, unless there's something that I absolutely feel like is going to be my favorite new thing, I won't do anything that's going to not be enjoyable personally. So, anyway, that's really what I wanted to kind of touch on in this video. I know I kind of went on a tangent there about play style and all that kind of good stuff, but ultimately I've been really enjoying guardian games myself. I think supremacy can be a lot of fun. It's been hit or miss for me at times because not enough players will load in. I have some players who tend to not want to use anything but like the same thing all the time, like the absolute meta, which is, again, that's if that's how you want to play, that's fine, but it's just not as fun to me. I feel like I'm in the skill bracket personally where in PvP, if I rock, if I jump into a SBMM lobby, then I'll run into a wide variety of different weapons and loadouts and builds and stuff. Whereas in this connection-based matchmaking, apologies, I run into a lot more similar things. That's just a personal thing. But overall, yeah, I've been enjoying it. I think this is a good event. It provides something to do for PvP players, something to do for PvE players. You can get rewards as long as you have on your mark or whatever your class item is. You get rewards and you advance the event regardless of what activities you're doing, which is also a W. And overall, I've just had a good time with it. And I'm, like I said, doing my seasonal challenges. I'm catching up on all of those. It just feels really nice. Anyway, my name is JoPa. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more Destiny 2 content from me going forward. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.